Good morning, 2A. So today in math, we are going to continue talking about fair shares. But now we're going to talk about if we have one whole object that we need to split for somebody. So yesterday we talked about cookies and we each got a certain number of whole cookies. But now we're going to think about if we had something that we had one whole of and we still wanted to share it, how we would do that. So I am going to share my whiteboard screen here so we can do some problems on our whiteboard. Make this a little bigger. Okay. There we go. So we're going to pretend that we have a granola bar. Here is our granola bar or our chocolate bar, whatever kind of bar you want to call it. So we have this bar. And if we have two people that want to share the bar, how much of this bar will each person get? I'm going to have to draw a line to decide, and I want it to be fair. Remember, fair shares or equal shares are shares that are the same. Both people are going to get the same number of shares. So if I want to make this, I want to split it into halves. So if I split this right down the middle as best as I can, now mine's not going to be super even because I'm doing it here, but if we were actually going to do this, we could do some measuring. We could find other ways of making sure that this was even. So we are going to split this into half. So you would get 1/2 and I would get 1/2. So if we're splitting it into two, we're each going to get 1/2. We know that because we're getting one piece of 2. So the bottom is our whole number. So our whole, we had 2 people total that we wanted to split it between, and we each got 1 out of 2. We each got 1 piece out of 2. So we got 1/2 of the bar. So now if we had another bar down here, and so we open another granola bar, and now we have a third friend that comes and joins us. So now we have 3 people we want to split our bar between. Now, if I split it in half, we're only going to have 2 pieces. So now I need to split it into thirds. So thirds are a little tricky. So I'm going to draw some lines to see if I can split this pretty evenly into thirds. Looks pretty even. So each of these would be 1/3. So we write the 1 on the top, and it can also be written like this, depending on how you write it or how you like to write it. Computers will usually write it like this, but when we see it on worksheets and things like that, sometimes we see it like this. So you can write it either way. So we have 1/3. So there's 3 pieces, and we're each going to get 1 of them. So we could keep going. We could do this into fourths and fifths, sixths, sevenths, eighths, ninths, tenths, 27ths. We can keep splitting our bar in many different ways. But it's really important that everyone gets an equal piece of a bar. So now what we're going to do is I am going to give you, we're going to look at a challenge that I have. Okay, so I'm going to erase my board, maybe. Where'd my tools go? They're there. Okay. Okay. So now I have a new challenge for you. And when I show you what your worksheet is today, you're going to know why I decided to challenge you with this. I drew my best. I guess I could have drawn shapes, but there we go. Okay. So now I have 2 granola bars. And I want to share these between 3 friends. So we can't give each friend 1 granola bar because then somebody's not going to get one. But if we cut them into half, each person is only going to get one person. We'll have a half left over, and we don't want to waste any food. So we need to decide how we're going to split this granola bar for these 2 granola bars, rather, for 3 people. So I know it's 3. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to split these still into thirds. Split this one into thirds. My very lopsided granola bars kind of looks like it got crushed in my lunchbox here. Okay. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of granola bar. So now I want to decide how many pieces can each of our people get. So this is a little bit of dividing, just like we did with the ants. So if I have 6 pieces, and 3 people, how many pieces will each person get? Each person's going to get 2. So we have, this is a third, whoop, this is a third, this is a third, this is a third. We'll figure out this in a minute as I continue to label all these as a third, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Okay, so now if each person gets 2, let's see if I can choose a thicker marker here. We got this here. Ooh. I now have, they're still in thirds, but I have 2 pieces of third. So now each person is going to get 2/3 because this person's going to get 2/3 and my third person is going to get 2/3. We're each going to get 2 pieces of the bar that was split into 3. So those come up a little bit towards the end of your work today, and just try your best. This is a little bit hard to do virtually. Normally in class, we would be able to have some manipulatives and we have fraction blocks and things like that, but we're gonna try our best to do this digitally. If you run into any questions, send me a dojo or an email. But what I wanna do now is I wanna share and go over what your assignment is for today. So this is your assignment. It's called Fair Shares. It's from your student book, so it looks like that. And you're going to go through, there's only about 6 questions on it, and it's going to talk about you're splitting granola bars between ants. And you're labeling, it says solve the problems below with your paper granola bars, which we do not have, so you're going to have to try your best to draw them. Be sure to label each ant's share. So what happens when 2 ants share 1 granola bar? So draw your 1 granola bar and then split it into whatever pieces that you'd need for 2 ants to share. So 2 pieces. What happens with 3 ants share 1 granola bar? So again, draw your granola bar and you're going to split it into how many pieces? 3 pieces. Then 4 ants, so draw your granola bar, you're going to split it into 4 pieces. Now here's the tricky ones. Now you have 2 granola bars. So draw 2 granola bars. And you need to decide how much will be given to each ant when there's 2 ants. When there's 3 ants, which if you watch the whole video, this one should be a little bit easier. And then if there's 4 ants. So you need to think about how you will go through this. I would recommend drawing it out, a granola bar out, a little box like I did. If you don't have the worksheet, you can always do that on a separate piece of paper and write your answers on a separate piece of paper. You can also cut a granola bar out of paper and fold it, and that could also be helpful if you're having a hard time with drawing the lines. So if I was going to cut it out of paper and I was going to have 2 ants, I would just fold it in half to make 2 sections of my paper, or 3 sections or 4 sections. So if you're somebody that doesn't have the worksheet or doesn't have anything to write with, you can always do the folding one. Again, if you run into any problems, send me a message on Class Dojo or send me an email. I hope everyone has a wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you soon.